Hey, hello everyone, it's been a while, it's great to see you again. I've been taking a break from YouTube, from making videos. I was still going out though, and I was still taking photos and making images as often as I could. And actually we got some snow just a few days ago. I went to the local golf course, it's just down the road. It was the perfect place, I had a lot of fun. I spent quite a few hours there making images of beautiful trees and the beautiful rolling hills. I will be sharing some of those images in this video, but I also wanted to use this video to catch up on some things that I wanted to talk to you about: prints, books, camera gear, and a few others. I also want to keep this video as short as possible, so let's do it. New prints the other day on the mail. As you know, I don't own a printer because I keep moving. I don't have a permanent home, so it doesn't make much sense to me. So I use a professional lab. I've been using them for a few years now. I always use the same paper, so more or less I know what to expect when I send them a file. I know what the image is gonna look like, more or less. Some of them are from my recent road trip, so they are very recent work. They are a little bit curled from being on the tube for a while, but they look good. As I said, some of them are very recent. I made this one at Mount Hood. It's one of my favorites from the trip. Oh, I love this one too. I made this one at the Great Salt Lake in Utah of the lone buffalo down there. I really like this one. Another one that I liked a lot from Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. That was a crazy day. Another one from Utah, another one from the Great Salt Lake. And that's it. I only got 4? Yeah, I guess I only got 4. Well, that means that I'm gonna have to order a few more. Some of them will be for sale on my website. I will let you know when that happens. Okay, books. I'm working on a new book, but it's going to take a few more weeks, so I'm gonna show you a couple that I purchased recently. I don't own a lot of photography books. I spend a lot of time with photography, so in my spare time I like to take a look and look at other things like listening to music, reading about philosophy and things like that. But every once in a while I still like to look at a photography book and get some inspiration from other photographers. This book by Michael Kena, it's called Night Walk, and I saw it on Amazon. It's a used book. It was published like 30 years ago. I wanted to see how his photography has evolved over time, and it's pretty incredible when you look at the work that he was doing and publishing 30 years ago, how similar it is to the work that he's doing nowadays. That goes to show the consistency of his vision and what he wants to create. Okay, the other one that I got is this one. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Station. The master prints, and these photographs are 100 years old. I haven't had time to look at them too much, but I saw some that look very good, like that one. That is a pretty cool image and one that I would love to create myself. A book that I cannot recommend just yet because I haven't looked at all the photos, but so far so good. The third book is this one. This is not a photography book, but it's a book about photography, and it's called Why It Does Not Have to Be in Focus. I don't know anything about this book. I bought it just because of the title. I thought that with that title it had to be interesting. I just started it yesterday, so once again a book that I cannot recommend, but so far so good too. It talks about photographers that are embracing photography as an art and not as a mechanical tool, you know. She talks about different techniques that they use, like blur, images out of focus and stuff like that. So I think it's a book that I'm going to enjoy reading as well. And it might be a good source of topics to talk about in this channel in the future. The last book I wanted to mention is this little one by John Miller. I didn't buy this book. He sent it to me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's a very, very nice, well done photographs of urban decay and structures that are falling apart, and some urban art there too. I really, really enjoy looking at these photos. I'm not really sure if he's selling this book, but if he is, I would recommend you to check it out at least. Let's talk about camera gear, the part that everyone was waiting for, right? So as you all know, I bought this Sony A7Rii a few months ago. I bought it to replace my old A6000, and this recent road trip, it was the first time that I took it on a long trip on the road, and I loved shooting with this camera. I've talked about this camera before. It's an old model. I believe it's going to be 6 years old this year in 2021, so it's lacking some of the newest and greatest features, but there is absolutely nothing wrong with it, and the sensor is amazing. I've made some beautiful, beautiful images with this camera, and I believe that for the price, it's hard to beat. My most used camera remains the RX100 Mark VII because it's much smaller than this one, so I always have it with me, and I made most of my images in this past road trip, and the images that I'm still making here, most of them are made with this camera. In my last road trip, I exposed my cameras to the elements, and some of them got a beating. Oh no, oh no, oh, again. They got wet from rain, from snow, from ice. It was freezing cold. Sometimes it was very, very hot. I'm glad to report that I only had to replace one item after this road trip. I was an old ND filter that finally broke after 5 years, no, more than 5 years of service. I will never get tired of saying this. Please use your cameras. Don't leave them on the shelf. They are tools to make images, and they are meant to be out there. A few days I was going through some of my stuff, and I found these 3 binders. They are full of medium format film, and I don't really know what to do with them. I've been trying to embrace a more minimalistic approach to life when it comes to material possessions and everything, so a part of me wants to just throw them away. I don't think I'm going to be using them again soon. They are all digitized and in my Lightroom collection in the cloud, so what should I do with this? This was my first roll just around the neighborhood in Portland, shot with the Bronica on Fuji 400H. I don't think you can see the images, but old times, man. Oh, so this is the reason why I don't think I'm gonna be needing these negatives again in the future. I was playing with digital negatives, so these are digital files that were printed on this special paper, so they work as negatives, and you can print these in a darkroom. More digital negatives. I haven't gotten any good results with this just yet because I don't have a proper darkroom, but I hope to have one some point in the future. But I think this is an approach that I want to try in the future, that is shooting digital but printing in analog. So this is the negative of one of my favorite images I've ever made there. I made this image here in Indiana, in Michigan City, and it was a beautiful day, and it brings back some memories for sure. That's one of the reasons why I still hold onto these negatives, because there are some images here that are very, very special. Let me check if there is anything else I wanted to say today. But there is one more thing that I wanted to mention really quick, is that I have a newsletter. I mean, I've had a newsletter for years, but I completely forgot about it. I hadn't sent anything in like 2 or 3 years, but I'm back at it again. I'm sending out a weekly newsletter on Mondays where I share all my work articles that I post on the blog, photos that I share on Instagram and Twitter, and links to the videos that I post here. So it's the best way to keep up to date with my work without depending or relying on the algorithms to show you my new photo, my new article, or my new video. And it's also a much better way to interact with all of you. You only have to reply to that email and we'll be talking about photography or anything else that you want to talk about. If you want to join us, just follow the link in the description down below to sign up for the newsletter. Of course, you can get out of there at any time and it's completely free, so nothing to lose. That's all for today. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about something that a lot of people have requested, and it's about my experience using an iPad as my only device as a photographer and a YouTuber. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Take care and stay safe out there.